What made you finally believe in love again? I have always struggled with relationships. Back in Colombia, I learned that love doesn't always mean safety. My last serious relationship ended with me standing in our apartment doorway, phone in hand, reading messages that shattered whatever trust I had left. He had been cheating for months. I had suspected it, ignored every red flag, and convinced myself that I was just being paranoid. The betrayal left something behind, like a splinter buried deep. When I moved to the US as a teenager, I promised myself I would focus on building a life, and I did. I got into graphic design, worked until late most nights, and kept people at a distance. Love was something that felt too risky to trust again. Then I met Alex. He was the quiet type. Thoughtful, always listening, rarely interrupting. He'd offer to carry my groceries, made sure my car was warmed up in the winter, and he never once mocked my Spanish when I slipped up. We'd been dating for about a year and a half, and on the surface, it felt like the kind of relationship I used to wish for. But something started to feel familiar in the worst way. It was his phone. He was oddly careful with it. He kept it close, flipped it face down when we were together, and he locked it quickly if I got too close. At first, I tried to joke about it. Maybe he was just private. Maybe it was work stuff. But then I noticed he started taking it with him for short bathroom trips and stepping outside to take calls late at night. Each time he did it, I felt that old anxiety tighten in my chest. One night, he asked to borrow my phone because his had died and he needed to order an Uber. I handed it to him, but I saw him quietly slip his own phone into his back pocket before heading to the bathroom. It didn't make any sense, and my stomach dropped. Over the next few days, I couldn't sleep. I kept imagining all the ways I was being lied to again. I dropped hints about trust's importance to me, hoping he would open up. He didn't seem to notice. Then, on a Friday night, it all came to a head. We were eating dinner at home when his phone buzzed on the table. He jumped and silenced it quickly, then changed the subject. My heart was pounding, but I nodded and pretended everything was fine. After dinner, he said he would shower and for the first time in weeks, left his phone behind on the nightstand. It was unlocked. I stared at it for a long time, my mind racing. I didn't want to be the person who snooped, but I was terrified of being blindsided again. I picked it up. The first thing I saw was a conversation in rough Spanish. He had been texting my cousin back home. The grammar was clumsy, like someone learning. I kept scrolling and found a language app with a streak of nearly 200 days. Then I saw a hidden photo album filled with Colombian recipes, even ones from my childhood that I hadn't made in years. My hands started to shake. He had maps saved with Colombian restaurants, even ones hours away. Then I found the emails. He had been writing my mother, the same woman I hadn't spoken to in 3 years. They'd been exchanging messages for months, slowly working through things I had left untouched for far too long. The most recent email confirmed her flight to visit for my birthday. I dropped the phone on the bed and covered my face. The tears came fast. Alex came out of the bathroom and froze when he saw me. He rushed over, confused, and asked what was wrong. I told him everything. I looked through his phone. I thought he was hiding something. I was afraid. He didn't yell. He just held my hand and explained. He said he noticed how I missed home, how I lit up when talking about the food, music, and memories. He wanted to surprise me with something that made me feel close to all of it again. That night, I realized I had spent so long expecting pain that I almost missed the kind of love that stays quietly in the background, learning your language and fighting for the pieces of you that feel lost.